Nero Claudius Caesar Augustus Germanicus, or Nero for short, was born in the city of Anzio on December 15, 37 CE. He was born to Emperor Caligula's sister, Agrippina the Younger, and his father, Gnaeus Domitius Ahenobarbus. When he was 2, his father died, leaving a massive fortune to his son, but Nero's inheritance was taken by Emperor Caligula. When Nero was 4, Caligula was killed in a plot orchestrated by Nero's stepfather/great-uncle, who became the emperor. 9 years later, he was adopted by his mother and Emperor Claudius. Claudius named Nero as heir to the throne, but since Claudius was usually busy ruling the empire, he spoiled Nero, as he did not have time to properly be the young boy's father. As a result, Nero spent most of his time with his mother, who was described as unforgiving, vicious, and even tyrannical, making almost every decision for Nero. This aggravated him, and the spoiled boy came to think that he was above everyone else, and despised his mother for how she treated him, like father like son, or mother in this case. In 54 CE, Claudius died, and a 17-year-old Nero became the emperor. Some suspicion fell on Agrippina, who was accused of poisoning Claudius, though we can't be sure if she was the culprit. Nero had a lot of support from the Roman public, as he was cultured, loved music and art, and occasionally showed generosity. However, after 2 years of his rule, Nero ordered that his mother be killed. There are many possible reasons why he might have done this, and one is that she may have been planning to kill him first. During the time before she was killed, Agrippina and Nero have been seen arguing, and Nero even removed her face off of Roman coins. Nevertheless, Nero's support was not lost following his mother's death. In fact, it only grew. High-ranking officials, generals, and a large part of the people believed that Agrippina was plotting Nero's demise, and that her death was a good thing. On June 9th, 53 CE, Nero married Claudia Octavia. You'd think that they would have a lovely wedding, but you'd be wrong. In fact, their wedding was most unpleasant. Roman historian Tacitus described Claudia Octavia as a good wife who fulfilled her marital duties, but Nero was a horrible husband who almost immediately got bored with his new wife, and on occasion even tried to strangle her. Nero's biggest grievance with Octavia was that she was barren, and Nero needed an heir. Soon, Nero began cheating on his wife, and he had affairs with like half the women in Rome, one of them being Poppaea Sabina. When Sabina got pregnant, Nero married her after divorcing and banishing Octavia. This action had a consequential impact on Nero's population. The citizens of Rome loved Octavia, and they saw the divorce and banishment of Octavia as a betrayal of the marital contract. The people protested, carrying statues of Octavia through the streets of Rome. The protests grew so large that Nero considered remarrying her. However, Nero chose not to, and instead he killed her. After all, you can't marry a corpse. This episode with Octavia took a serious toll on Nero's popularity. 2 years later, on July 18, 64 CE, Rome burned for 9 days straight. The fire burned down 2/3 of the city, causing disastrous damage and a huge increase in poverty. Where was Nero? Oh, he was happily living the life in his villa in Antium, 35 miles away from Rome. When Nero heard the news, however, he rushed back and offered the now homeless people shelter and food in his palace. Nero immediately began planning the reconstruction of the city, and he wanted to use much of the conveniently freed up space to construct the Domus Area, or Golden House in English. The Domus Area was a brand new, absolutely massive palace for Nero that would take up 1/3 of the city. This action made him very unpopular, and a rumor began that it was he who started the fire to make the Domus Area. Although Nero got his palace, the people of the Roman Empire continued to despise him, and the rumor that Nero started the fire continued to spread. The costs of rebuilding Rome to its former glory were huge, and Nero was forced to devalue the currency by 10%. To further the problems, the Roman provinces of Judea and Britannia revolted, and to top it all off, another rumor began that the senators of Rome were plotting to assassinate Nero, so why don't I kill them first? While the people continued to riot, Nero took a 15-month vacation to Greece. Nero returned in 68 CE, and he grew distant from governing. He failed to contain revolts in southern Gaul, Spain, and Tunisia. Fed up, the senators declared him public enemy number 1, and they called for his arrest and execution, while yet another rumor began that Nero killed his second wife too. Nero fled, and on June 9th, 68 CE, he killed himself, at the age of 30 years old. After Nero's death, Rome collapsed into chaos, and the year of 4 emperors ensued. When the dust settled, the Julio-Claudian dynasty ended. The Roman people didn't want another Julio-Claudian leader, so the new emperor, Galba, to show that he wouldn't be as bad as the Julio-Claudians, created the Colosseum. The age of the Julio-Claudians was over.